I was like, mother, like if there was a desk in front of me, this shit would have been thrown because I was so pissed off. Because hey guys, until somebody picks me up to sponsor me like a VPN or whatever, this video is sponsored by me. That's my merchandise, bunch of stuff, whatever. Links in the description down below. Enjoy the video. Hi. It's been a while. Obviously I look like shit. Yeah, this isn't an update video. This is actually a probably gonna piss off a few stands out there video, because like I don't know where the hell I'm at right now. I mean, okay, so I'm in my office, right? But like up here, no. So this isn't, it's been a minute since I made a video. So today I'm gonna go ahead and pluck my face. I'm gonna start with my beard. And while I do that, I am gonna talk about something that is really under my skin right now. And it has nothing to do with life. It's really petty, and I'm probably going to piss some stands off. So for those of you that love the whole Grisha universe and that whole trilogy, or the whole thing, if I piss you off, and it's my opinion, okay? I'm coming from a very centrist point of view, from somebody who is 41 years old, who I'm sure, as far as you guys are concerned, has no business even weighing in on this, but as somebody who's been practicing magic like a long time, who's also of Russian descent, who just wanted to listen to something, I ended up listening to the audio version of the Shadow and Bone trilogy. Maybe I should have read it, and maybe I wouldn't be so irritated. Maybe I would give it like a better review. But since I listened to the audio version and I have no desire now to read it at all, and the fact that it's being made into a Netflix whole thing, yeah, I don't know. I got feelings, okay? I got feelings. And Cindy from, I'm just going to start, okay? So Cindy from the whole Read with Cindy thing, I thought she had my back on this shit, right? Because I watched her reviews on it, and I was like, oh dang. So, oh y'all can't even watch me. Is that better? Now you can see that. Let's see what I'm doing. See what on it here. That's what y'all get to look forward to, for those of you that are like, not 40 and who possibly don't shave. And that so fucking sexy. Anyways, so I thought Cindy had my back on this shit, right? I was like, cool, she hates it, I hate it. But then I guess the whole Six of Crows thing like did her in. No, I haven't listened or read any of that yet, so maybe it does get better, I don't know. But okay, here's my gripes. Number one, I'm probably not even gonna get my face done while I'm doing this. I should just shave the fucking shit. Anyways, number one, Grisha. Okay, so Grisha is like the cute name for Grigori. Now, maybe it's just a regional thing, I don't know. But in my family, we have a Grigori who goes by Grisha. Now, Grigori is Gregory, okay? And Grisha would be Greg. So for me, I'm like, okay, so all their wizards and witches and shit, there are a bunch of Gregs. So we had a bunch of Gregs going around. All right, cool, whatever. Small gripe, right? Look, I just finished listening to the audiobook set like last week. It's like a week. I've had to stew on this, and the more I think about it, the more I'm just like, I will give Six of Crows and the hell's the other one called? Whatever, and the Scar King thing, or King of Scars, whatever. I'll give those a shot. Why not? Especially their audio. I don't have to physically sit there and read them, and I can listen to them while I'm doing my chores. I'm like, I'll do it, right? Hopefully they're better. I mean, I understand this is like earlier on. Okay, but so is that my big... No, it's not my gripe. As you probably could tell from the thumbnail, because I'm going to put it in there, I want to call it the Song of Goats, or like Goats and Bullshit. instead of shadow and bone, like goats and bullshit. Because Mal, Mal, Mal. I should have took a shot every time that they said Mal or Alina, Alina. And then whoever did the reading, that accent is so bad. It's so bad. It's especially when she gets to the apparatus. Like, oh. Okay. Those are my small gripes. Okay, bigger gripes. They had the what do you call it? The complimentary? No, maybe that's not the word. The obligatory lesbian. Okay. In Tamar, which to me, as they were describing her and the voice they were using for her, I was like, okay, so she's just butch. So that was an obvious thing. And so she hooks up with Nadia. Okay, cool. That was fine. I'm good with that. But like, you saw that coming a mile away. It just, and I'm so sick of trying to be politically correct. But to use the politically correct, it just was, what's it called? The coding, right? Baiting, whatever that is. But that was the only representation of the LGBTQ community. So I was like, well, I mean, okay, check. We got somebody in there, right? Whatever. I don't know. That again, this is still part of my small gripe now. Bigger gripes. Yo. I had another thought. There was another one where I was like, you know what? Something else there really pissed me off, but now I don't remember what it was. So I'm going to just move on. So one of my other bigger gripes is, wow, it's been a week. Moritsova? That sounds right. Yeah. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Whatever. It's been a week. Short-term memory loss. Deal with it. So for Moritsova, you mean to oh my God. So as the story's going along, right? I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, oh dang. So, what the hell's her name? I'm not listening to this shit again, just so I can get the names right. So Baccarat? No. So the Darkling's mom, right? As it's going along, I'm like, oh, so she was with Moritsova, right? So like they were together. They were like maybe a husband, wife, or they were lovers or something, and Darkling is the baby, right? I'm thinking, oh, this sounds fucking great. I can see that okay, yeah, totally. But then like, okay, switch it up. Is her name Baccarat? That doesn't sound right. Baccarat. Bob. Whatever the fuck. Anyways, so I'm like, okay. That was my point. I'm like, okay, that sounds like a good idea, right? But then no. That was her dad, and some bullshit story about how he was in love with, a regular person, and then they had the daughter, and she was just like dark and evil, and mom was scary. And okay, all right. So mom's kind of pissy, right? So the Darkling's mom is kind of, she has feelings, right? She's traumatized by this. And then they have another kid, and then the other kid, this other daughter, is like, oh my God, the one that they love, and blah blah blah. And then so she gets pissed off, and mind you, she's like, what? It sounded to me like this child came along like when the older daughter was like at least 6 years old. So then had this little child, I'm gonna Bob, hold that thought. Okay, so we're back. Bagra. Okay. The fuck was I saying? Okay, so Bagra, you mean to tell me that this, because, and now let's just say I'm wrong. Let's say they had the baby like right afterwards, but the way it sounded to me was that, oh my God. I didn't just almost fucking eat shit in my chair, but alright. That's cool. No big deal. So you mean to tell me that Bagra will, like, try to murder her, like, 1-year-old sister, 2-year-old sister? Sounds pretty fucking deep and sadistic, but okay. So that, for me, that's like first plot hole. Because whatever. Okay, fine. You know what? I'll buy it. I'll buy it. That's fine. But now, okay. So then this child gets brought back. And then the villagers are all pissed off. And so then they drown, kill, whatever, try to kill Mortzova and the daughter. But apparently, the daughter lived. And maybe even Mortzova. Mortzova with all this power. Nobody's seen him in what seems to be 500, 600, maybe 1,000 years or more. Nobody's seen him at all. But okay. And there's no anything about this daughter living. Now, when they are up on the cliff thingy and the phoenix, the firebird comes, right? And then it's like they're in the middle of nowhere and they're like, oh yeah, you know what? That's right. Like me, Alina, I thought I was descended from Mortzova, but no, Mal, it's obviously you. Okay, hold. How'd y'all come to that conclusion? Just because you felt some kind of way? Oh, you felt some kind of way, so you just knew. You just knew, right? Okay. I can even buy that. Just because of sheer feelings, right? You know, you get that feeling. All right, cool. Cool. Why isn't Alina one of them? Because here's where the biggest plot hole for me is, okay? So when Mal dies, it's totally explained that, well, he died, but he was able to come back. First of all, let me just tell you how pissed off I was when he came back. So, like, I was walking across my yard listening to this. I'm in the middle doing my chores, right? And I'm coming from one side of the yard to the other side of the yard. This is like 7 acres. I'm walking across. And they're like, and he came back. Or however they worded that shit, right? And I was like, motherfucker. Like, if there was a desk in front of me, this shit would have been thrown. Because I was so pissed off. Because up until that point, I'm like, yeah, you know what? Yeah. You know, when you fuck with some dark energy like that, when you are into that kind of magic, you lose everything. Trust me. You are broken. You don't come back from that. Which leads to more of my gripes, but I'm not even done with this bullshit yet. So they say that the reason why he was able to come back is because, like, how Harry Potter had Voldemort inside of him. And when he got that killing curse, that Horcrux, that piece of Voldemort died. That's what got killed. So that's why Harry was able to come back. Okay? But we're going to do the same thing with Mal. Because apparently when the girl... Just follow along with me. Because help me out. Because this shit don't make no kind of sense. And fuck you if you think it does. So... This girl, Bagra's sister, lives. But she lives on a borrowed life. Okay. Now this borrowed life, through her descendants, is carried on. It's passed on. So every one of her descendants, they basically have 2 lives until we get to Mal. Now, first of all, what's to say that Alina and Mal aren't like some kind of cousins a million times removed? Born in the same area. I mean, generations. You mean to tell me that every generation only had one kid? One kid. Like there was never any siblings? Okay. Sure. Okay. So, but when Bagra's sister's children, descendants, when they died, for this argument about Mal to work, did they die twice? Like, when they died, did they just restart? Like, basically what you're saying is that they had two lives, because that's how Mal was able to live. You mean to tell me none of them died a tragic death? Not one of them in all these generations. Like, there's too many variables in there for that to work. Too many things had to completely line up. And if you want to say that that's what it was, it just seems like such a cop-out to me. It just seems like so much of a coincidence, and I just don't do coincidences. Okay, so for me, I'm like, pretty sure that if we're going with this, Alina probably is related to Mal. But whatever. So there's one of my gripes. Another one of my gripes. Before I get to that one, because that one's really big. But again, I really thought I had another one. I know it's going to hit me. We'll just move on to one of the ones that really pisses me off. They did it. If now please listen to me. If you want to try to claim this kind of magic, if you want to talk about this kind of magic, this primordial, from the beginning magic, if Mal was in fact descended from Moritsova with this kind of magic, with him being this kind of imbued being, then it stands to reason. No, it doesn't even stand to reason. It's just a given. Alina, with her type of magic, with her type of just phenomenal cosmic power, the moment they banged, something would have happened. Something huge would have happened. And the act of, especially since it was done out of love and it was something beautiful to them, even without him depositing, okay, that still would have been in a bit of magic where she would have taken on his powers. So there was never a need for him to die. And especially if he would have finished inside of her, and that would have still been inside of her. Like, I just feel like if you're going to write about magic, I feel like you need to know what the hell you're talking about, because there's no reason why Mal should have died, and definitely no reason why he should have came back. Now, so okay, now I think I'm coming to the other stuff that I remembered of what really pissed me off. She shouldn't have got a happy ever after. She didn't deserve it. She did not fucking deserve it. You can't constantly talk down about your magic. You can't constantly disown your power and hide your power and hate your power and hate that part of you before that power betrays you. Before it basically tells you to fuck off. That's why I kind of loved when everything went to shit and all of the power went to everybody else around her, because yeah, that's exactly how that shit works. That's exactly how it works. You don't own it. You try to use it. You don't believe in yourself. All right, then it goes to everybody else around you. It's the nicest, easiest way I could say it. So I was like, okay, yeah, damn, you know, this makes sense. Like, yeah, it really sucks that she lost her power. But okay. I want to get to Nikolai. I don't we all? I'm going to get to him because I have to get to him. Okay. But so when that happened, I was like, yeah. And then all she could do was be like, bring him back. Bring him back. Oh my God, bring him back, bitch. You don't deserve the happy ending because you were willing to do nothing. How many people had to die? How many people? How many people had to die? Because you love him. If you wanted to write this beautiful love story. Cool, write a beautiful love story, but not at the expense of so much else on the line. There is a very fine line, and I don't know if it's just maybe people who are younger than me. I'm not saying like I'm like old and wise, okay? I'm not going to sit there and say that. But I just feel like there's this divide where people just don't understand that there are consequences. You can't have everything. You cannot have your happily ever after if you're just like, fuck it. Who cares who suffers? At least I'm going to get mine. That's poor storytelling. And I'm just not here for it. I can't stand this. I'm sorry. It's not working for me. Anyways, Nikolai. Girl, why didn't you just go with him? Why didn't you, like, the whole thing between her, hell, even the Darkling, would it have been so bad? Would it have been so bad? Like, you think, oh my god, he wasn't really a villain. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, did he kill people? Oh, absolutely. But then she went ahead and killed more people and then still got the guy. Get the fuck out of here. Just get out of here with that bullshit. What would have been so bad about being with Nikolai? Just quit being selfish, let Mal go off and live his very simple, ordinary life. And don't try to tell me that he's part of Mortzoa and it was just destined to be. It's just the whole thing is crap. The whole thing is absolute crap. And I'm still going to watch it. When it comes out, yeah, I'm going to watch it. And I'll probably love it because I enjoy anything that takes you away into another world. And if it can rile me up like this, I'm going to watch it and I'm going to love it, even though it's going to be crap. Now, apparently this whole Six of Crows thing is something like really good. Okay, I'm going to give it a shot. And I want to know more about Nikolai, even though of what I've heard, he wasn't really done right. So I don't know. I don't know how to feel about this, but anything that's going to take me away from reality is like, all right, cool. I'm totally there. Okay. I hate the series. There's a good chance that I will love the series, the Netflix series, especially with the two people that they have playing for Mel and Alina. I do have to agree with Cindy on that. I'm really happy that they went with an Asian actress. And is Mal Asian? I don't want to assume, but it looks like maybe he could be. Of course, my eyes aren't really that good, and I'd have to really look it up. Because, like, I didn't know that Philippa, the girl who plays Eliza on Hamilton, I did not know that she was Asian. I had to actually, like, when I heard it, it's like, wait, what? So I had to look it up and, like, see a bigger picture of her because I watched Hamilton on my phone. And from there, I just was like, is she? Like, I couldn't tell. So, like, my eyes are not that great. Anyways, long story short, I don't know. I'm just happy that it's not just some standard whitewashed fucking... If it was a white person and they were just like, meow, meow, I just don't think I would be invested in it. Not saying that if it's an Asian person going meow that I would be invested. I just feel like maybe there might be a bit more emotion to it. Maybe it might be executed more believingly. Maybe the audio version is just crap. And maybe I should have read it. But there's other audiobooks that I've listened to and I'm like, okay, this is pretty good. Maybe it's just the person who voiced it. And maybe she's even good on other books, and maybe just her in the Alina character. I don't know what it is. But like I said, my biggest gripes is they had sex There's no reason to die, and she did not deserve a happily ever after. She was a shit character. She was selfish, and God, she didn't believe anybody, nobody. And I can I get that. I get that, but at some point it's like, do you have a brain? Do you have an ounce of any kind of anything? Because you are not believing a goddamn thing anybody says. And at some point you just gotta be able to say, if I do this, this is gonna happen. Maybe that's not worth that. Maybe, I don't know. There's a lot to be said for patience and nuance, and this story just doesn't have it. And I had to get that off my chest. I don't know if I feel better or not. Who knows? Who cares? I had to get this off my chest. I haven't made a video in forever, and my face is still not fully plucked because apparently I can't do this while I'm talking. Have a great day.